cheapest running, driving golf cart I could find on Marketplace. Alright, here it is, the newest purchase. After some kind of just BSing back and forth and then inevitably ending up on Marketplace, we decided that, hey, what the heck, we should have a golf cart to cruise around the neighborhood and take to the racetrack. So, this was the cheapest running, driving golf cart that I could find in my area that... Well, obviously, I expected it's going to have some problems being the cheapest running one, considering I got this for $700 when most of anything that was less than $1,500 didn't even run. Now, this does run, but you have to, well, let's see. The throttle's messed up, the choke's messed up, the electrical is super sketchy, and you can see it's in kind of a worn down condition, but hey, I don't know, we took it to the end of the block and back, but I think the electrical's the biggest question mark of sketchy right now, so we'll need to get that fixed. So here's what we're working with. At first glance, it's like, oh, okay, it's got a new carburetor on it. However, that is not how throttle linkage is supposed to look. Like, what the hell is going on there? Kind of stuff. This is the choke. That's the cable for the choke. Not even attached. Like, okay. Well, and then move along. Over here, I can only assume this little lever thing that's not attached to shit is a governor. Don't need that anyway, do we? But, yeah, it comes down to some of this electrical stuff here where it's just not done very well. I mean, look at this thing. This is the freaking key ignition. That is 3 loops held together with a zip tie. And then over here, for some of the main battery power stuff, that's coming apart. That's coming apart. There's just, yeah, there are wires hanging out, and then they're not even attached to anything. Just random. And then we get up here under the dash, which I assume a bunch of this stuff is supposed to be for the speakers or these headlights. I don't know. It's all a mess. The biggest ones that concern me are the leads off the battery that are literally coming apart, and it's like this close to ground or arcing out on that aluminum. That needs to be dealt with big time. With the throttle, you can get the thing going, like the generator works, like it'll fire up, it'll start moving, you gotta hold the choke, like it'll run, but then you can put your foot all the way to the floor and it only opens it like halfway on the throttle because then it gets to a bad angle and jams. So I'm guessing that carburetor is not meant for this engine as far as the linkage goes. So we'll probably have to build some new brackets for that, but yeah, I don't know. Try to get this thing going so we can have a fun toy. Well, this thing is a 1985, so it's the same year as the Cutlass. So I should have known that things were going to be metric as far as this one goes, but I can see somebody added this other bolt on the positive side. Also, not even tight. What do you want to bet that that bolt is actually just something standard that came out of somebody's bin? Because it's just a random bolt. Oh, well, wait, no. It might be metric. Might say 8.8 on there. I don't know. Either way, it's crap. We're going to throw that shit away and start from scratch. So So one of the other first things that I want to start with that involves a lot of the sketchy wiring is the key setup, because obviously there's no key. They just got these leads wired together. I don't like that setup at all. So for like 13 bucks, bought an ATV universal key kind of a thing. So we got off, on, crank. Obviously you don't need the crank for golf cart setup because it's just involved with applying throttle and all that. I'm sure we could wire it up so that we can just start it and it runs kind of a thing, which might be the way we want to go here. I'm not quite sure, but we'll figure it out. So, you know, I'll get this swapped out. Should be able to reuse it in the same place, and then it's got a much better lead hook up here. I don't know if I'm going to use this plastic. I mean, you should be able to just put ends on there and push them on if I want to, but and it might be just best to start from scratch because, oh look, here's another one that's just hanging off in space. I don't know where, I don't know, it might be a ground wire for something that's tucked under here. Should probably pull this off too because there just looks like there's more than one wire jammed in there. Man, somebody loved their self-tappers. Broke my bit. That's not good. Oh yeah, because this thing's cranked up on 3. That's a bit much. Oh geez. Sure, now it's broken off in there. Dang it. Oh, there I got it out. Oh look, they're not actually grounded down there. They're just jammed through underneath the floor. Because that's great for a wire. Just step on it all the time. Oh boy. Well, I may have to start calling this thing self-tapper and zip tie. Because they're everywhere. Jeez. Why is there so many batteries? Gosh. Boy, the guy pulled his shotgun shells off the dash when we bought it there, but he didn't take his dead batteries, eh? Well, what do we have here? Spare bolts? Oh man, that'll be coming handy, huh? I don't even know what the hell that is. Hose clamp, washers, nut. What do you suppose the nut fits the bolt, huh? Any guesses? Will it fit? Oh my, it does. I would have bet not. Alright. Oh. There's another bolt. Battery, hose clamp. I don't think we need that. Ooh, big fat Sharpie. Wonder if that works. It does. Okay, we'll actually save that. Yeah, I don't need somebody's flossing thing. What's that? That's heavy and metal and strangely, I don't know. What else is under here? Another washer. Yeah, pull these wires out so we can at least see what the hell's going on. Oh, where does that one go? Through a slot down to the front, okay. Alright, well. Oh yes, peak wiring right there. We're just gonna twist the two ends together and call it a day. No. That one's broken off. I wonder if, nope, that doesn't match up with that. Neither, where did all these wires go? Okay, there's that stylish sound system, I guess. And this must be just lights, I guess. Or must have been. I don't know, it's hard to say. get much. It's not like it's tight. Alright, so now I pulled this key thing out. I see good threads down in here. So, that really must mean that somebody either lost the key and bypassed it for that, which is very plausible, or somebody was working on something, took it off, lost the bolts, and then decided to bypass the key. But, oh well. What do you suppose that hole's the right size for this thing? I don't know if I'd hold my breath on it, but we'll see. Oh, this one's a full round. Oh, it's got 2 flats. That one has 1 flat. Alright, well, but it is for a bigger hole, so we can make that happen. Aha! I apologize if there's quite a bit of background noise. I know these fluorescents kind of hum quite a bit, and then the heater's kicking on and off. Because, you know, it's cold up here in Minnesota. So, I really would like to, I need to do something about the fluorescents though, at the bare minimum, because only like half of them come on. Even though the shop has good light compared to my old one, it's still a bit annoying. So I want to go LEDs, but then I can just take the ballasts out, but man, that stuff's kind of expensive. So, if anybody knows a good source for that stuff, that's affordable and works well, I'd be all ears on that. Alright, get that vertical on, crank, sweet. Now I just gotta figure out what all the colors mean, because of course, you know, there's no directions on that, but we can figure that out. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out how I can hook this up to the key, which means I have to figure out what all this junk does. This thing down here, I can only guess must be the start-stop switch, or, you know, like a key on / kill switch. I don't know, this wire kind of runs off over to be crappily wrapped around a nut. No loop, just bare wire wrapped around the nut. This other one runs up behind here somewhere, which is like the forward, reverse, whatever going on there. Oh yeah, and then the other wire coming off of the kill switch runs off to the engine, so I have no idea what's going on with that. I don't know. Sent a buddy some pictures asking what this stuff does, but clearly these 3 need to be hooked together to make it work and run, so we can figure out what combination of plugs that does with the key. Alright. See there, I got the, what I believe is the ground wire off. I had to cut it. Sandpaper or flapper wheel here. Just kind of got down here, did it like that, clean it off a little bit. I'll take this wire, put a proper end on it. Hopefully the wire's good. Yeah, I don't know. It's showing some corrosion, but we're not trying to restore the whole thing right now. Just want to make it less sketchy. These heat shrink connectors are probably one of my favorite things with wiring, because they actually you know, you get your crimp on there, but unlike the hard plastic ones there, when you shrink fit these, they grab onto the wire better to help keep a better connection. Plus for moisture, and then when you got two that actually connect, they'll actually overlap and seal together. But if you're not using these things, you're using the hard plastic ones, you really should give these things a try. Alright, we'll wait for that to cool down, get that put back on. Alright, so after some back and forth, I think I know what's going on here. I did find a wiring diagram, surprisingly easy online, except it doesn't exactly match. So that's a little different. However, you can trace from the solenoid. It goes down and connects into here, which I thought was something goofy, but it turns out this little tiny thing is a fuse. So I don't know if that's like a probably a glass fuse in there or something like that. And then that comes up to these wires that are hooked together that replace the key. So that should be my power in. According to the wiring diagram, that also meets up with this wire. However, the wiring diagram says this supposed to go to something over here, which it does, and then go there, and then go back to the key. However, it goes to here, it goes to the coil, it goes back somewhere else, and then back to there, and then I don't know, it must end up back over here again. But otherwise, it seems like the only like power output one we need is going to this ignition start kill switch. So I should be able to have these two hooked to the same for like a power in, and then the only power out be that switch, and then I can make the key work. Alright, so I got this switch figured out. The black and yellow have connection between them when the key is off. I have no idea what the hell you need powered while the key is off. But otherwise, when you go key on, those shut off. Green and white are connected, and then at the start position, green, white, and red are connected. So all we really need is the connection between green and white hooked up so that we have no power when the key's off and we have power when the key's on. These two 10 gauge wires are pretty tight fit in this connection, but I'm making it work. If you missed my last video, I'm going to clip this off a little bit right here so that when I heat shrink it, it doesn't pinch over the end. It'll actually pull back just a little bit. That way we can get the heat shrink on there and get it just plugged into what's there. And then this one is the one that needs to get power. After, I don't know why those ones are so heavy and then this one's so small, but get rid of that. They're probably overkill. I'm guessing somebody just decided to rewire this damn thing at some point in time. We're gonna use black wire for everything. Oh, because that one's much, much smaller. Oh, we can use the red. Same thing. I'm gonna clip the end a little shorter, just so that it'll plug into the here a lot easier. So I need to make some new main power wires. So I know we need an end piece like that, and we'll see if we can find new battery terminals. So let's go over to our great big box of everything. Oh, well, I got a battery terminal. Actually, I'm kind of surprised about that. I didn't think I was going to have one of them. Looks like I only got one though. And then I know there's some bigger terminal pieces in here somewhere. Find them. Oh, there we go. I got one. Actually might be kind of big. Like too big. There should be some other ones in a different bin. Not that one. If you don't have a bin like this, I highly suggest you get one because it comes in handy way more often than you might think. No, there we go. There's some more. I think they're all the same size though. And remember some 2s versus, yeah, it's a 2 also. Alright, well, I don't know, they might be a little bit too big. Might still be some other size stuff in here somewhere. Oh yeah, this one. Got some of this stuff to work with here. They're not exactly the go-to thing, but might have something that's still got a big enough opening and a smaller loop size. I don't know. I'll dig through and see what I have. Otherwise I can go get some. So I'll probably need to get a second battery terminal anyway. And jackpot. Found this little guy. Got a nice big opening on there. The hole size actually fits on the solenoid. So then we've got the number 2, so we'll be able to remake this wire with a new end. Number 2. And I'll cut this off halfway, cut it across the center so we just have the one loop around the end, be good to go. So we need a wire. So let's go over to our big bin of wires. Also, if you don't have one of these, highly recommend it. This is all just like leftovers and spare stuff. Wait, actually, look at that. Might even have a ground cable that fits already. I know we got some red wire down here. Alright. Suppose that's even the right length. We got another one the same length. Just in case. Oh, here's another ground with an end on it already. Oh, look. Got a ground with a battery terminal end. Well, that saves a trip to the parts store. Alright, got that modified. Just hit it with the cutoff wheel and rounded the edges with the grinder. It actually kind of caught and pulled apart, but bolt to keep that together. Wait for that to cool down so it's not so hot. This is actually slightly longer, but because it's bigger, it might be a little harder to twist around. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Oh, we can actually just yeet that. Oh, I left that behind. Okay. Anyway, so I'm just gonna cut off the sleeving by about 1/2 inch on this thing. Probably should have just cut around this thing and make it nicer cut. I feel like that always ends up taking a few wires with it at the same time, but I guess that wasn't so bad. Oh, well, there's a little bit of wire. Anyway, alright, we'll start with number 2 end. Obviously that one fits nice. Where did my other piece go? It's a little bit small, but I think we can make it work. It's still warm. Anyway. Oh, I usually just put these things on with a punch. Got one that I rounded off into a little bit of a point, but it's pretty dull. That way I can just slide this sucker on here, try to get all the wires in there. Just gonna line up kind of middle of the group here. Not trying to drive it all the way through, I just want to crush it down so that it holds. And if I was smart, I'd put some sleeving over that, but we can slip it on from the other end still. There's my box of stuff. Shoot, I probably used up, yeah, I feel like there's some green stuff. This yellow is big. I don't know if it'll be able to shrink small enough, but we'll give it a try. Awesome, that worked great. So, I'll just do the same thing the other side and get this one on there. They said I might have to trim just a few strands around the outside to get it to fit in there, but shouldn't be a problem. We'll shrink that side too, and then we'll have a nice new power wire. I was able to get that one on there and I only had one strand that didn't fit, so that was nice. So I did take this and I planned it out because, you know, for once I was smart. So this is going to be hooked up to that terminal over here, and then it's going to have a loop in it, and it will rotate just so that it sits flat and it don't have a ton of extra forceful twist in the wire. It'll just line up with the pin. Clearly this ground needs some work, so rather than making it this short, since I have this much length, while that would be the most efficient way to do it, this end is already on here. I have another one of the ends that I used to make. However, where it's at, it's a ground. I don't need to cut it shorter. So I'm just gonna plan on leaving this the way it is, so that if for any reason in the future something happens, especially to this battery end is probably what I'm worried about the most, I'm gonna be able to cut it shorter. So I'm actually gonna leave it, I'm gonna cut it here, because that'll make where it can come off the battery, tuck down into the chassis, and then come straight up, where it makes this work out really nice. And then I got plenty of extra cable if I gotta change one end or the other in the future, kind of a thing, instead of making a tiny little dinky one like this where if something happens I can't use it anyway. And here we are. We got new power and ground cables, so that's good. Yeah, like the average drifter, we'll just ignore that for now. So we got key wired up. No, it's in neutral right now, so it should do nothing when I press the gas. If I turn on, I hear the click anyway. If we put it in gear, then it cranks. Alright, but if it's in gear and it's off, no crank. Excellent. It works. Well, that's what we wanted to accomplish today, and get rid of some sketchy wiring. Now, onto that throttle situation over there, because that's not great either. So what's not good over here, is you can see, is as I push the throttle down, it opens and then it just jams and kind of closes the throttle up, and a bunch of goofy shit going on here. Because the angle is terrible. I'm guessing that the linkage on this carb is not meant for this setup. However, the way it's pushing, it's kind of pushing at center when the pivot's over here. But we got this bracket that's bent a little bit, so I'm just going to drill a hole farther over, and that should get this a lot more in line and should fix our throttle situation. Alright, since this is such a terrible angle, I'm going to take the bracket off to drill that hole. There's some Phillips head screws holding it down right here. This one is too damn tight. So if you didn't know this trick, most handles are designed for wrenches. So you can loosen them up. Alright, well that's almost all the way. We're gonna have to deal with this choke lever over here too. And I'm quickly realizing, just like, you know, most cars built in the 80s, this is also an 80s machine. Half the stuff is metric, half the stuff standard. So that's kind of annoying, but at least I know what to expect. Alright, this still seems like a very poor angle going on here. Because now we're out past it, and then I didn't even pay attention to the fact that this was up way too high to start with. So I think I can bend this back towards inline, which will help, because then, you know, when the throttle gets wide open there, it'll actually be pointed at it. So that's a small fix. But it's the step in between. So actually I think I'm going to take this off and flip it over upside down, which is probably going to make it a huge pain in the butt to get tight, but it should fix our alignment problems. So this will take this back out, bend it to get it lined up, flip that over, and then we'll see what we got. Alright, found a choke cable down at the hardware store. It's not going to be a perfect fit on here because it's got kind of this square clip. I'm pretty sure it's for like a lawnmower or something, but can see if it'll work with this hole size. Otherwise I can always make a new bracket for it to hook to or drill a different hole. But I'll take the old one off of here and try to get it swapped out. Of course everything's going to spin on me. It'll be alright, we'll figure it out. It's gonna be kind of a jerry rig here, but no offense to anybody named Jerry. Yeah. Alright, this will either keep working or it'll fail and we'll have to make it better. Well, shucks. Well, shit. Let's see if that works. Like I said, low touch and go. Oh boy.
That thing has reverse?
Well, bummer. Ran the other day when we got it. Yeah, we got power. It's cranking. We even have a choke now. Are we getting any fuel? Kind of looks like.
Sounds a little lean.
Yeah.
Not a mechanic, full disclosure, but
Yeah.
doesn't
I
sound,
was just gassing in it
doesn't
the
sound
other
filthy.
day. I mean, there's some suspectness going on here, but guys, I mean, I can smell the starting fluid going through it. What the heck? Didn't think I bumped anything here.
This is what happens when you buy toys that are older than you are.
Hey now. It almost ran there. All right. So we need less throttle opening. Okay. Which means
So a mushroom walks into a bar.
a hua?
A mushroom walks into a bar.
Why
And
did
he's
it-
like, I'll take a drink, please. And the bartender's like, we don't serve your kind here. And the mushroom's like, what? Why not? I'm a fun guy.
What now?
A mushroom walks into a bar.
Yeah, I heard you.
And he's
I
like, I'll
don't
take
get
a
it.
drink. And the bartender's like, we don't serve your kind here. And he's like, why not? I'm a fun guy.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, see? Because he's a fun guy.
All right, let's give that a try.
That's not good.
Well, we're moving, kind of moving.
I think. Woo! Oh, Lord.
Oh boy.
You're very happy over here. Wow. There's speedometer on this puppy?
No, but it's very touchy.
Why is it galloping like that?
I don't know. That's why you kind of were questioning it the other day.
See, Tim scratched your ear. It's sketchy.
What made you think it was not going to be sketchy?
You said you would fix it.
Well, it won't start on fire now, I think.
Oh, geez. Okay, now it's better. Keep it
Yeah,
at
it
it.
doesn't like too much throttle though. It's even worse if we give it some... Oh, come on, keep going, keep going. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
I don't know if we can make it home from here. Oh, jeez.
You're gonna have to push.